Says pause.
Hey.
It's on.
What's wrong?
It says pause, but I don't know if it's it's
Four
recording.
people sitting here and you're in the back, you're an adult.
1, 2, 3, 4,
Okay.
5, counting
Sit
you.
down and come over here and on May the 7th, May the 9th, 2007, Edith Rodriguez went to her local emergency room for abdominal pain and throwing up blood. Despite multiple pleas for help from her husband and others in the lobby, she died in that lobby. Why did she die in that lobby? Because she was very ill and because she was in that lobby. I will explain why you should implement change to decrease the length of stay in your emergency department. I will show you through example of my own personal experiences at the emergency department that I manage. I will discuss why change is needed. I will define change in your emergency department, and I will inform you how to implement the new process. To begin, we need to discuss why change is needed. I manage a large emergency department in East Tennessee. In 2008, if you came to our emergency department, you could expect an average length of stay of 4 hours and 24 minutes. This is nearly 30 minutes greater than the national average. The average length of stay in our lobby at that time was 45 minutes. Through a simple process change, we were able to decrease our length of stay to within the national average and drop our lobby length of stay to 10 minutes or less. Even while the number of patients in our ER visit that year increased 10%. The Joint Commission states in their 2009 Standards for Healthcare, managing the flow of patients throughout the care is essential to prevent overcrowding, which can undermine the timeliness of care and ultimately patient safety. Do you think that Ms. Rodriguez had timely care, or do you think her visit lacked flow? Think about it. She was waiting in the lobby and waited there for nearly an hour until she died. The 2011 British Medical Journal, in an article titled "The Association Between Waiting Times and Short-Term Mortality and Hospital Admission After Departure of the Emergency Department," shows that every hour in the emergency department increases the likelihood of patient death and hospitalization. We knew that our safety and quality of care would improve if we could more efficiently move our patients throughout the department. Charles Noon, in his 2011 book, Lean for Healthcare, states, lean organizations flow products or customers through a system quickly, predictably, and in a resource-light fashion. We adopted this philosophy to streamline the patient flow through our department. Due to several cases like Mrs. Rodriguez occurring across the nation, we knew that we had to increase our efficiency, so I would like to tell you how we implemented a plan that was more efficient for our flow. The idea was to keep patients from actually sitting in our lobby. Now I've discussed why the change is needed. I'll discuss how to change your own ER. When we looked at our flow, we saw a lot of wasted time and activities. In his 2012 article, Friday Minute, William Monahan states, "We're a value-driven society, but all too often our values are dollar signs." In order to determine the waste, we asked the question, what would the patient pay for in their visit to the ER? It obviously wasn't waiting for triage or sitting anywhere or waiting for anything. They wanted to come back and be seen. So we narrowed it down to a few points we thought they would pay for. Number one, the patients would pay to see a doctor. Therefore, we decided to bring everyone straight back to a room, let the doctor see them in the room while they were being triaged. And no longer did they have to wait for hours to see that doctor. Second, patients would pay to have their diagnostics, their tests, like x-rays and labs. We did this at the bedside to prevent errors and delays. And finally, and most importantly, they would pay for the emergency medical treatment they would receive in our ER. The nursing staff goes into the room with the ER doctor, and care starts immediately, decreasing the chance for errors and delay. I discussed eliminating waste, eliminating things of little or no value. I will now tell you how our department implemented these changes. In a 2012 article, The Next Generation, former CEO and chairman of General Electric, Jack Welch, is quoted as saying, "When the rate of change outside is faster than the rate of change inside, the organization is near its end." The change was difficult for us to accomplish. Nurses and doctors can be just as uncomfortable with the unknown as other people can. We had a process. We just needed to change the employees that would be implementing this process. We knew we had to change two things to be successful. First, we had to get the staff buy-in, which we did by letting the staff do the changes. We recruited a group of staff members, and they devised a plan, and they implemented it. We had to implement the process changes through coaching and education. Not everyone accepted this change. Therefore, we had to coach a lot of staff to make it work. Continuing to do things the old way would have been much easier for us. We spent a lot of time coaching and lost several experienced nurses due to this change. Once we finalized the process, we got buy-in from the staff. It was just a matter of watching to see if it worked. Today, if you were visiting our emergency department, you would see that we're seeing twice the number of patients that we saw in 2008, and our average length of stay is 3 hours and 42 minutes. This is a full 42 minutes shorter than it was in 2008. I've spoken to the benefits of streamlining the flow in your emergency department, and I urge you to implement these processes in your own emergency department. As I have shown, this will decrease your total length of stay, which will result in decreased mortality. This change will not be easy, but you should undertake it if you want to prevent a Ms. Rodriguez case in your own ER. Think about the danger it poses to have ill patients waiting for hours to be triaged by a nurse when there are empty rooms in the emergency department. I explained why I needed to make changes. I explained the process. I then explained how we did this. Had Edith Rodriguez came to our emergency department, I cannot say that she would have survived, but I can say that she would have been receiving care immediately as opposed to dying in the hospital lobby. My goal is to prevent the same from happening to anyone in any ER. I hope you would consider making these changes to your department as well. Thank you.
How many minutes?